Is Carmelo Anthony back? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video today. Now, I know a lot of you out there may be thinking to yourself, before this season, before Carmelo Anthony got signed with the Trailblazers, that he was washed. Now, before I get into all of the crazy things that he's doing this season, coming back into the NBA, first of all, Carmelo Anthony is a 10-time NBA All-Star, 2-time scoring, he's been on 2 All-NBA second teams, on 4 All-NBA first teams. He's an NBA scoring champion and an Olympic winner. Now, a lot of people leading up to this season were pretty much, just crapping on Carmelo Anthony. A lot of analysts out there were talking trash about him. And we did a video a few months ago talking about how the disrespect for Carmelo Anthony was getting a little bit too crazy. So this season, going into this season, he hadn't been in the NBA for over a year, and a lot of people were wondering whether or not he was actually going to be in the league. But it turned out, after meeting a lot of teams, going on ESPN, telling his own side of the story, he was actually picked up by the Portland Trailblazers. Now, the Portland Trailblazers, you got to know, with their 2 stars in their backcourt with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, these are 2 bona fide all-stars, and the Blazers pretty much have been a playoff team for all of these years, going to the playoffs, doing really well for themselves. But this year, for whatever reason, they got off to a slow start because of injuries and all of these other things. So a lot of people were wondering, what's going to happen with the Trailblazers, and to my surprise, Carmelo Anthony was actually picked up by the Portland Trailblazers, to me, which is a really healthy surprise. So after they picked him up, everyone was just wondering, what is it going to be like? And I heard a lot of analysts out there saying, hey, you know what? Carmelo Anthony's, he needs to accept, coming off the bench, he needs to accept such and such role. If he's beginning to say that he wants to do so many different things, he needs to chill back, dial it back a bit. Carmelo, you're not at that level anymore. You're 35 years old, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what I noticed is that a lot of people in the media, including sports fans, have been trying to put Carmelo Anthony in a box. But for the most, for a good portion of his career, Carmelo Anthony was the #1 option on his team. Now, yes, obviously he's 35 years old, so he can't be that anymore. But going into the season, a lot of people were pretty much skeptical about him, although they had a lot of high hopes, hoping that he would do really well with the Portland Trailblazers. Well, guess what? It just came out this week that Carmelo Anthony was actually named the Player of the Week in the Western Conference. And what does that mean? So for this season, he was averaging 22.3 points a game, 22.3 points a game, 7.7 rebounds a game, and 2.7 assists, and almost getting you a steal a game. Now, if you look at his season stats, his regular season stats, he's actually averaging, Carmelo actually averaging 17.7 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. Now, he's shooting 46% from the floor and 37% from the 3-point line. Now, let me tell you guys, if you don't know, if you guys want to scoff at that number and be like, yeah, whatever, he's actually shooting a better percentage than Kawhi Leonard from the field, and he's shooting a higher percentage from the 3-point line than Kawhi Leonard, and he's shooting 80% from the free throw line. So, in my opinion, Carmelo Anthony is not washed in any form, shape, way, or manner, and he is definitely back. Is he going to be an all-star this year? I don't know. I don't think that's the reason he came back. I don't think that's his goal. I think probably his goal is to help the Portland Trailblazers get to the playoffs, because they started off with a pretty poor record. So to help them get to the playoffs and do really well and really reestablish himself in the pecking order of one of the greatest players of all time. Because Carmelo Anthony right now is playing for his legacy. He's no longer playing, for accolades and all of this stuff. I think he wanted to go out on his own terms and not to let it be decided by Daryl Morey or Mike D'Antoni or any other teams that he was bounced to in the last 2 years. So for me, Carmelo Anthony is back. Now, obviously, he's not the old Melo, but he's a lot better than what a lot of people expected. And he's been starting for the Portland Trailblazers, which is something that a lot of teams, a lot of people around the sports world were not anticipating. But I think the reason it's going to work out really well, number one, as he said, he truly feels that that organization actually wants him. That's the first thing. Secondly, he has a lot of respect from their stars, which is something that's really important, because if they're ever going to make a decision, if they wanted to move on from him, definitely the stars of that team are definitely going to be notified about it. So Carmelo Anthony, I think, has found a home for himself with the Portland Trailblazers. He most likely will close out his career with them. I don't see any reason they would sign him and then get rid of him with this type of production. Now, granted, it's still early, but I think Carmelo Anthony is well on his way to really cementing himself in the all-time and actually going out the way we intended him to. And if you watch him score, he's still getting, he still has his jump shot. He's still hitting three-pointers. His mid-range game is still going. He's still a big boy. He can still put his weight into you and get to the rim and finish over defenders. He still has his strength and he still has some of his quickness, especially with, grabbing offensive rebounds, with putbacks and all that. So Carmelo Anthony is an amazing thing to watch him throughout this season. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you think that Carmelo Anthony is here to stay, and do you think he's going to finish off the season and go out the way he intended to, or do you think that this is just a flash in the pan and it's going to go away and we're maybe jumping the gun way too soon? So that's what I want to know from you guys. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to get all of our newest content when it comes out. Once again, this is Charles from DreamersPro. Wish you guys an amazing day. Peace.